Hi, AccuFriends. This is Nicole and Jenna, and we are doing a quick FAQ on cupping today. I'm just going to ask Jenna the questions because cupping is one of her favorite things. And so we're just going to go over some frequently asked questions that we get from patients whenever we do cupping sessions or acupuncture sessions in our offices. Okay, Jenna, so what is cupping? Like, I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, I have seen these marks on athlete-looking people in like gyms, but what are they?
So cupping is, yeah, you've probably seen like Michael Phelps made it really famous when he showed up to the Olympic trials or something and had those circular dark marks all over his body. Basically what cupping is an ancient, I guess, technology, if you can call it that, where you place a cup-shaped object. So people have used animal horns, people have used bamboo. Now we use glass or silicone cups or plastic even, and you place it over the skin with some form of suction. So what happens is with a regular massage, you push into the tissue and down, and sometimes angry, inflamed body tissue doesn't like to be pushed. I know I don't like to be pushed or poked when I'm mad. And so what cupping does is it offers an alternative where instead of pushing into the body tissue, it suctions on top, pulls up, and then creates more space in that area. And so in that extra space, you have room for more blood flow, room for more of the interstitial fluid, for the lymph fluid, for all of the good guys to get into an area that's painful and actually go get to work healing that area.
Yay, wonderful. And another question we get a lot is, do those marks hurt, or like, does cupping itself hurt while making those marks?
Yeah, we get that all the time. And we actually have another video on how the heck to get over my fear of cupping,
Yes.
which features my daughter. So really, cupping sometimes can have an intense sensation of suction. The practitioner can almost always change that level of intensity. So if the cupping is uncomfortable at all, you let your practitioner know and they can back off the level of suction that's happening. And it's not a more pain, more gain kind of situation. So what I tell my clients is if you're making ouchy faces into that face cradle on a massage table, I need to know about it because we're already dealing with a body that's annoyed and hurting, and we're trying our best not to keep annoying and hurting it. So in general, cupping is not going to hurt. There are obviously different levels of sensitivity with folks, but it's not, some of the deep tissue massages are much more painful than a cupping session. That's not to say cupping can't be intense, and it's incredibly productive, but again, there's a very strong ability to modulate the intensity of the cupping so it won't hurt. And then the marks that are left behind, a lot of people will mistakenly call them bruises, but bruising happens as a result of a trauma to the body. And I guess in some ways, cupping can be considered that, but it doesn't really make sense that way. So it's kind of more like a hickey in a way. So there's some capillaries on the surface that sometimes get a little bit broken, and that can show somewhat of a reddish pattern. But again, it's not going to heal in the same way a bruise does. So you won't necessarily see that like greenish to bluish, purplish pattern that you watch when a bruise is healing. And it won't typically take as long. And the patterns left behind from the cups, the cup marks themselves, are diagnostic. So some people will have this like really light mottled purple color. Some will have a very dark purple red stagnation area. Some people have little prickly marks. Some people's cup marks actually like kind of ooze like a substance out of them,
Yeah.
not necessarily blood, but like dampness out of the body. And what's happening is there's toxins and buildup in the muscular and adipose or fat tissues, and the cups are helping pull and draw that up to the surface. So then the lymph system, which is our body's janitor, can then roll through and clear that out and clean it up.
Beautiful. And I guess a lot of questions I've gotten also is like, okay, I have these marks and how do I take care of them? Like, do I need to put anything on them? How do you take care of marks after you're done with your cupping session?
Yeah, aftercare for cupping is such an important part. And a lot of people kind of forget about it, or you'll leave a cupping session and you're so relaxed that you're like, got it, and you just walk out the door. We actually have another How the Heck video on how the heck do I take care of my cupping and gua sha marks. So you can check that out for a shorter version. But the basics are, don't do anything too extreme. Your body just underwent this procedure for healing, and you want to be kind to it. So what that means is drinking more water, because again, the cups have drawn up and out these toxins that are stuck in the body, and your lymph system is working so hard to go gather up all of that crud. And so if you're not drinking a lot of water, you're just making that lymph system's job that much harder, and it's mean. And one of my main points to people is like, just don't be mean to your body. So drink extra water, lots of it, more than you think. And then you want to be less extreme. So don't go do a huge, massive workout. Don't go jump in a icy cold watering hole. Don't take a freezing cold shower. Don't expose your open, like the cupping marks on your back or neck to a big air conditioning vent that's
Mhm.
like, what is the word? Like,
Just like expose yourself to
yeah,
like extreme cold or heat. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
don't be extreme about it. There are certain like topical lotions with arnica, so there's a little bit of sensitivity on the skin. You could put that on, but your skin is going to be more receptive to anything you put on top of it. So if you're putting on lotions, your body's going to soak it up even more. So you have to be a little bit careful, because again, you've already worked that tissue a lot, so you just have to be a little more gentle with it, at least for the first 12 to 24 hours.
Beautiful. I sometimes tell people to wear a scarf too, especially if they're on the neck. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you can be fashionable and also take care of your cupping marks.
Totally. And for me, I'm always like, ooh, show the world your cupping marks, because it's kind of like a billboard for the work I do. I'm
Yeah.
always joking that I'm going to get cups in the shape of my website, like that way. But actually, the irony of it is, the more someone gets cupped, the less marks they have. So I have clients that love the marks. They think they look really cool, and they actually like want to have those marks. So when they go to the gym, it's kind of a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And and the more I work with them, the less I can get those. And so I'm like, I'm so sorry.
You're healing.
People do out of marks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it's be less extreme with yourself, be more gentle with yourself, and yeah, take it easy, drink a lot of water.
Lovely. And what would you use cupping for in a patient? Like, what kind of patient would you want to use cupping for?
So the most common reason people find cupping is because they're having musculoskeletal pain. So a lot of times that's, the text neck, the computer neck, where you're kind of hunched over, bent over something, making your muscles work too hard. A lot of it's lower back pain. Again, a lot of that's posture related. Some of us are carrying a little extra weight in the front of our bellies, making our back work harder because our core isn't supporting our bodies in the way they maybe should be. There's a lot of sciatic pain or hip and lower leg pain. So that's the most common stuff. What people don't realize is you can use cupping for things like plantar fasciitis, for tight calf muscles, for constipation. There's actually all these abdominal protocols that you can use. And there's a lot of like upper pectoral muscle attachments that can get really tight. There are different, I often joke that I sound like Bubba Gump from Forrest Gump, when he's naming off all the different shrimp types. When I'm talking about cupping, it's like there's
Strip
magnet
stamping.
cupping and silicone cupping. It's kind of embarrassing because I'm such a nerd for it. But there are these like smaller cups you can use to help actually start to reduce some blood, so like hypertension patterns, get some like really gentle work. There's also lymph drainage that you can purposely use the cups in a lighter way to actually drain the lymph if people are having like facial swelling or just like edema patterns. There's facial cupping for boosting collagen, decreasing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. There's really like, you can cup for most reasons. It's
This
like a
is
pretty
very
cool
Forrest
thing.
Gump.
I am. I'm Bubba Gump. It's fine.
That's really cute.
I've come to terms with it.
Um, and I think that, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. Like, I feel like that those are some of the most oftenly asked questions we get.
Yeah.
But of course, if we haven't answered something, please comment below. And we'll get back to you. All
Yeah,
right.
thanks so much. I love all the questions. I think that cupping has really polarized some people. People are really afraid of it. They don't understand it. It's very like foreign to us. We don't really understand why you would do that, but It's a beautiful form of medicine. It is, I've seen the most amazing results, and I think that everybody should give it a try.
And it feels really good most of the time. Like,
Oh,
I love getting cupped. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
All
you so
right. Thank
much,
you so
Jenna.
much.
Okay, guys, stay healthy. Have fun.